Welcome to round 7 for our sprint race at Paul Ricard, where Jones took his first pole position of the season alongside Tim Shade in second. Most of the pack got through the start cleanly. Our championship leader Whitlock started in third, and it was a bad start for his teammate behind him, as we watched Rasmussen drop back slightly due to starting on the wrong fuel map. Further back there was drama as we ride on board with Shaw, who unfortunately had a slow speed coming together with Hosick. A little further up the track, Shaw's teammate Smalley also collided with the car ahead of them. As we ride on board with Gould for that incident, you can see Pitch almost getting shunted into the back of Gould. By lap 2, Jones was leading with a slight gap to the cars of Tim Shade, Panda and Whitlock. Panda was doing well in third, considering his average finishing position was 16th, but Whitlock in fourth was right behind him. On lap 3, Wet Chaser was in 14th, and Bowers pulled up alongside him on the Mistral straight, but then more or less bumped Wet Chaser wide and gave the position back. At the end of that lap, Whitlock made a move against Panda. The two went side by side in the battle for third. Whitlock didn't manage to pull ahead by turn 1, but as they gave each other plenty of space, it was Whitlock emerging in third. Although Panda had a look at retaking the position. Whitlock would hold on to third, but Panda must have been happy running in fourth behind the championship leader, considering that he usually finished below 15th. It was McAdam's first race, and on lap 4 he spun in 17th, losing a few seconds. By lap 6, Whitlock was looking to get into third, being in the slipstream with Tim Shade, and the two went side by side down the Mistral straight. They left each other plenty of room at the Curb de Seine, but then Shade slid into Whitlock. But fortunately no harm was done, so Whitlock was now running in second, a couple of seconds behind race leader Jones. On lap 8, Stone, with only one top 10 result so far, was running well in 9th, but unfortunately had a spin, safely rejoining the track down in 17th. Lap 9 would be dramatic as Panda, trying to hold on to 4th, was under pressure from Portis and Friesen, so Panda may have felt relieved at what happened next. There were 16 laps to go, so no need to take any risks. But at the end of the Mistral straight, there was an incident between Friesen and Portis. It only took the slightest of contact to send Portis spinning off track, and Friesen would slow down to let Portis back ahead of him. Corsaro benefited from the incident, jumping from 7th to 5th, and likewise Rasmussen moved up 2 places. On board with Shaw on lap 10, and Pitch got into an impressive drift ahead. Pitch was running in 19th out of 21 cars, so not a great race compared to his previous result of 8th. On board with Portis on lap 13, and Friesen behind must have just missed his braking point. No harm was done, and I think Friesen was lucky not to pick up an automatic penalty for running over turn 1. Also on that lap, Gould got alongside Tripod, potentially putting Gould into a top 10 result for the first time. That's if he could hold on to the position after making the overtake stick. On lap 15, Whitlock did the same thing against Jones, so our championship leader was looking unstoppable, moving up into first. A couple more moments from lap 15, Stone having another spin. And a few moments later, just as Ginks had passed that incident, which you can see in the background, Ginks had a moment of his own. I'm not sure if this was true, but apparently Ginks was sipping beer when he had this crash. He was running in 16th at the time, and retired from the race with 10 laps to go. On lap 18 there was a 3-car battle over 6. Portis and Rasmussen gave each other plenty of room, to the point where Portis ran wide heading onto the Mistral straight, giving Friesen the slipstream behind Rasmussen. So it was Friesen pulling up alongside, and as they gave each other plenty of room, it was Friesen emerging ahead. The battle continued a lap later with Rasmussen keeping pressure on Friesen, and ended up ahead for a few corners. As they started the next lap, Friesen was almost back in front, but Rasmussen edged ahead as they went down the straight. Then disaster as Rasmussen moved over to take the corner, and there was contact with Friesen, sending Rasmussen into the wall. His car was damaged and he lost a few positions in the remaining 5 laps. Whitlock from 3rd on the grid had been consistent and took his 5th win of the season, 3 seconds ahead of Jones in an impressive 2nd. It was the first pole position and first podium for Jones, who up until that point had an average finishing position of 13th, so well done to him. Tim Shea took his 5th podium out of 7 races in 3rd, and Panda did hold on to 4th, which was his best result so far. Likewise, Gold and Bowers had their best results, being in the top 10 for the first time. It's worth mentioning that while these highlights are brief and don't mention penalties, incidents are reviewed in these races and time penalties are sometimes awarded. The Bentley team are back in the lead with a margin of 42 points. Crash Course Racing jump up 2 places with their first podium. So that was our dramatic race at Paul Ricard, and we'll be back with highlights from Mount Panorama, which will mark the halfway point of the season, so we hope to see you then.